Hi everyone, this is ZPJ. Today I'm going to talk in a noisy room. My kids are outside in the living room, so I want this to be a testament of how this mic, the Royer R-121 ribbon mic, which came in this box, how it picks up ambient sound, how it picks up my sound. So this is a testament to that. So this mic right now, so I'm speaking into the back end of it, which is supposed to be a bit brighter. Now I'm speaking into the front end of it, which is supposed to be a bit fuller. And it requires a heck of a lot of gain. And my Apollo twin is on absolute maximum gain. On top of that, I have a D-booster here. So the D-booster by Royer, it's set for, so it's in the out position, which means an extra 20 decibel gain. Okay. And I'm not using, for example, a Soyuz or a Triton or any of those inline preamps because they color the signal. The Royer D booster is supposed to keep the signal clear. So I'm using that. Without that, this mic doesn't pick up much because it's a ribbon mic. In fact it's a passive mic. So you don't have any electronics in here that increase the signal into the line. So that's where I have the D booster. And it's on a 20 decibel gain, and my Apollo twin is cranked to the max. So very, very gain hungry mic, but it has a very smooth roll off, and I think it makes my voice sound quite pleasant, more pleasant than some of my other condenser mics. For example, the other condenser mics are great. They pick up more of the ambient noise, and of course this tends to pick up the popping sound much more, the plosives. Regardless, I'm going to use this without a pop filter because I want you to get a gist of what it does, its capabilities. It has a very warm, full-bodied feeling, and of course it does pick up the background noise, as you can hear my kids out in the living room. I'm not going to tell them to be quiet because I want that to be part of this experience, and I want that to be something that should calibrate your future musical needs in terms of what it picks up, but it's not as so the room noise is not picked up as much as a condenser mic, especially one of like the TLM 103 or the Neumann U87 AI. Those mics pick up a lot of the ambient noise. It picks up everything, but here it's quite noisy. My doors are locked to my studio, but still you can hear through the doors, mostly picking up my voice. So you wouldn't want to use this in this kind of setting to record anything with. Although if you're recording, for example, vocals or guitars in this setting and you have it's in a full mix, you probably won't hear that background ambient noise, but still you want to keep that to a minimum. So not an ideal setting to record in this kind of environment. Usually I would record when my kids aren't home. During the breaks it's difficult, of course they're always home, so you got to find the right time if you don't have that dedicated space for recording. But this mic, the Royer R-121, does pretty good at rejecting some of that noise, so compared to the condenser mics. Now here I'm touching the cable and it does pick that up. I touch the mic boom here and it picks that up. So you do have to be careful with it. You do have to set it up so you don't get any physical contact with any of the elements, because it is sensitive once you crank it up to that boost. But listen to the voice, and then this channel also has a full range of mics, and then you can check in my channel. There are 4 full range of mics that I basically talk into, and you can hear the difference. I would say that this is probably one of the more full-bodied mics that you could use. It has that real again, I don't want to use the word vintage, but for a lack of a better word, I think vintage comes to mind. It has that nice gentle roll off, perhaps not as much as the darker more older vintage style ribbon mics, but it's more of a mix between that old dark vintage versus the new modern style mic. So it falls in the Goldilocks zone, in that sweet zone in between. It's great for the guitar cabins. I have a Marshall tube amp here, the Champion by Fender. So it does pick up. Again, you can hear the ambient noise. It does have a nice effect, and just rolling off that harshness that even the U87AI has. And I have a vintage U87, and it does have a smoother top end, but this one really rolls it off well. It really rolls off that harshness at the top. Now, if you EQ this with a plug-in EQ, you're going to have a lot of harsh artifacts in the top end, but that's not because of the mic. That's because of the plug-in EQ. But if you use a nice, good hardware EQ, then you don't get those strong artifacts. You get that nice overall roll off at the top end, which makes the music more pleasant to listen to. And then this mic, I'd say it's good for singing, although you'd have to have at least 2 pop filters, because it does pop, 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 pop. So you don't want to pop into too much, but of course the closer you get, the deeper it is, just like with any other mic. But then the closer you get, the more plosives you have. See, my overall opinion of this mic is it's a great mic. It has that vintage feeling, very warm, roll off at the top, pleasant for the voice. But you definitely need a pop filter. You definitely need something to get that popping sound out. Let's try this. All right, so not bad. That's actually not bad. So this is for a different mic. I put that pop filter on there, and it does work to a degree. It does reduce the plosives, and at the same time it doesn't sound very muffled. So it's better than just putting cloth over it. But still, I have to keep a certain distance to get the plosives to completely be neutralized. You be the judge. You tell me, what do you think of this mic? Do you think this mic sounds better than all the other mics that I have showcased on this channel? My next why, what do you think? Leave some comments below and let us know. Okay, thank you very much. ZBJ over and out. Bye, everyone. ZPJ over and out. Background, my kids. All right. ZPJ over and out. Thank you.